calling for him on this squad is Between the Pipes with Sophie de la Forêt.
Yeah, she's a 4-year starting goalie. It could be a lot worse for this Lakeshore team if they didn't have her in the back of the net, as you see her right there. And we'll talk to her as our Student Athlete of the Week coming up momentarily. But an outstanding player, 4-year starter for them. And, yeah, they're only 5-7. They're used to being a top 15 team. So, but they graduated 10 seniors from a year ago and only 2 senior starters. So they don't want to call it a rebuilding year, but it's a different type of year for Lakeshore. But certainly they want to get this victory here tonight over St. Joe.
Ryan Fitzpatrick joins us on the sidelines tonight. And Ryan, as a member of our crew, you are well aware of what this rivalry means to these two schools. What makes it so intense here on the pitch?
Well, Chuck, I think it's the fact that the schools are only 10 minutes apart, and the girls do know each other very well. I think with that, with the girls knowing each other well, they've actually played on the same teams for club sports and everything like that. Sorry, guys.
No, that's all right.
You know, you'll see it's going to be really, really friendly. You can see when the student athletes came up, they were joking and laughing and smiling. It's going to be competitive, but make no mistake that the St. Joe senior girls have never beaten Lakeshore before. They've either tied or they've lost, so a big win would mean huge things for them.
Not much time left before we get into the conference tournament and then the district tournament after that, a district tournament that's been dominated by these two sides. We'll talk about that as this one goes along. But our fair custom roll forming pregame show continues next with our Tony Letcher Student Athletes of the Week, and that's next on the Sports Michiana Game of the Week. The Sports Michiana High School Game of the Week is brought to you by Tony Letcher Health Markets, Tire Rack, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Big C Lumber, Barrett Custom Roll Forming, McInnes Realty, Patrick, Reliance, the Lulliard Insurance Agency, the St. Joseph County Police Department, Babsco, Tom's Car Care Center, and these great sponsors.
Shopping for tires used to make me want to blow a gasket. That was before I went to TireRack.com.
Tire Rack made it easy to find great tires at a great price. 2 years of free road hazard protection. Sealed the deal.
Tire Rack has thousands of recommended installers. I chose a mobile installer. Check this out. A technician brought my new tires right to the house. He's installing them now. All set. Thanks. When it's time for new tires, trust the experts. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Ready to be part of our winning team? The St. Joseph County Police Department is hiring, and we are looking for people of all ages who want to make a difference. With a starting salary of $52,000 plus full benefits, including medical, dental, vision, and vacation, you are in control of your future. So whether you're just entering the game or looking for a new position, now is the time to get off the sideline. Learn more today at sjcpd.org.
Experience the summer in style with decking from Big C Lumber. From the professional to the do-it-yourselfer, Big C will assist you through the entire deck planning process. Big C's selection of composite and PVC decking material offers durability and low maintenance, all while maintaining the look and feel of real wood. Our free delivery service ensures more of your budget is allocated toward your project. Revitalize your outdoor living space with Big C Lumber.
Let's be honest. Treatments can be a real pain in the glass. Shades, shutters, blinds, drapes, the options are endless. Avoid expensive mistakes and return shipping with online retailers. Call the local team at Quality Window Treatments. Their entirely local process makes choosing the right look for your space easy. They bring the showroom to you during your in-person consultation. And with hands-off local installation, you never make a measurement. Visit QualityWindowTreatment.com to book your free consultation and see your space in a whole new light.
With Surf Fiber Internet, you'll catch all the big plays as they happen. The winning goal, the last-second three-pointer, the walk-off home run, the touchdown that changes everything. You'll see them all. No lag, no throttling, no buffering, no missed highlights. Just blazing fast streaming from start to finish. Whatever sport you love to watch, Surf keeps you connected. Surf Internet, built for game day and every day. Score big today with fiber internet plans starting at just $30 a month, including free Wi-Fi, free installation, all-in pricing, and price lock for life.
Looking to buy or sell a home in the Michiana area? Call McInnes Realty, Michiana's fastest growing real estate company where service comes first, built on knowledge, care, and community. Through our Homes for Heroes program, we proudly give back to those who serve. Firefighters, law enforcement, EMTs, military, teachers, and healthcare workers, past or present, qualify for hero rewards when they buy or sell with us. Call McInnes Realty today at 574-271-3440.
This edition of the Sports Michiana Game of the Week brought to you by Tony Letcher with Health Markets, the right policy at the right price. Time now for our Tony Letcher Health Markets Student Athletes of the Week. We have Ava Mancini, a senior at St. Joe, and Sophie DeLaforet, a senior at Lakeshore. We'll start with Sophie, who is the senior goalie on the soccer team, also a member of the volleyball team, has a 3.9 GPA, ranked 42nd in the senior class, a member of the Young Life, Key Club, and NHS. It's a lot of stuff. How do you balance it all?
I really just have to, it's the little things. I mean, just planning out when I'm going to do my homework and get my assignments done, and then, like, obviously around practice and stuff.
You want to be a veterinarian one day. You're already volunteering at the ER, working at a local animal hospital. You go to Michigan State to major in pre-vet. Tell us why you want to be a vet.
I've just always had a strong passion for animals. Every animal that I see on the side of the road, I'll just want to pet it. And even working at a veterinary clinic, it gives me a good experience. So hopefully I can use that to my advantage.
What does being a Lakeshore Lancer mean to you?
Being a Lakeshore Lancer means to me, like, having hard work and perseverance. I mean, we have amazing teachers, good athletics. We've always had good academics. It's just, we're grounded in tradition.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Ava Mancini is a senior soccer player and basketball player at St. Joe, 4.0 GPA. She won the Ray and Ted Stone Award winner for academic and athletic excellence, and she'll attend IU next year. How do you balance everything?
Time management is a really big thing for me, and like Sophie said, planning everything around practice, and I always like to stay busy, so it works out.
In addition to all those things I mentioned, you also are a coach already, Biddy Bears, soccer and basketball. What does that opportunity, that experience mean to you to be able to give back to the little St. Joe players?
It means the world to me. It's like great to be able to give back to the community and to reach out to girls of that age group and get them to start playing sports early and teach them it's not about mistakes and stuff like that. It's about building your skill early.
You tore your ACL last year. You missed this game, this rivalry game. So what does tonight mean to you, and what does this rivalry mean to you and your team?
Tonight gives me a chance to keep getting my confidence level back up, and it just means the world to be back playing on the field again. There's nothing quite like it, and I just love this sport, and I just love this rivalry so much.
And your favorite color is red?
Oh, I can't say that, no.
And your favorite's blue?
Absolutely not.
There you go. It's the War by the Shore, and we've got the opening kickoff here between Lakeshore and St. Joe in our Sports Michiana Game of the Week coming up next.
Finding private health insurance can be stressful. What if it didn't have to be? I'm Tony Letcher, licensed insurance agent. I prefer to personally meet with my clients so I can get a better understanding of your needs and budget. I can even review your current coverage. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Letcher today to schedule your free consultation or visit tletcher.com.
Founded in 2001 by brothers Sam and Levi, Reliance has built a reputation for excellence, providing high-quality home building and renovation services to the Michiana area. From single-room renovations like kitchens and bathrooms to building your dream home from the ground up, everything benefits from their decades of experience. From concept to completion, Reliance makes even the largest projects simple and hassle-free. To find out more, visit RelianceDBR.net. Reliance. Design, build, renovate.
When contractors and OEMs need quality electrical products at the best prices, they look to Babsco Supply. We strive to supply all the electrical products you need for residential, light commercial, and OEM electrical components. We have the knowledge, dedication to customer service, and extensive inventory to ensure your electrical projects are completed successfully. We are employee-owned, which means all of our employees are owners. So you know we care. With locations in Elkhart and Warsaw, Babsco Supply is working together to serve you better. Learn more at babsco.com.
Your car carries precious cargo. It needs to be dependable, rain or shine. Let Tom's Car Care Center in South Bend help take the stress out of your car's maintenance. We'll change your oil in 10 minutes, flush your transmission, replace your wiper blades, and much more. Oil changes include a half-price car wash when needed. Welcome to your extended family, Tom's Car Care Center.
In need of an award? Call Crown Trophy of Mishawaka, the area's premier award provider. They've been serving the area since 2001 with cutting-edge exclusive products, personalized with state-of-the-art laser engraving technology. And Crown Trophy has more than just trophies. They offer corporate, sales, and retirement awards, along with personalized gifts and promotional products. Crown Trophy, nationally known, locally owned, where everyone's a winner.
You don't always see the backbone of American products. You feel it. Ferret is where smart work meets hard work. We serve the USA by manufacturing purpose-built metal components that solve the problems others walk past. And we put in the work that makes fourth and long feel like first and goal. Calling all engineers and makers, past, present, and future. Your next career move begins at Ferret.
This edition of the Sports Michiana High School Game of the Week being brought to you by Ferret Custom Roll Forming. We form value. Beautiful night for soccer here at Upton Field as we get ready for Lakeshore and St. Joseph. And a look at the teams, what the teams are wearing, brought to us by our friends at It's Tops in Mishawaka.
All right, first of all, for Lakeshore, they're going to be in their road white uniforms, etched out in red lining. And then for St. Joseph, they have the little St. Joe Bears out there with them. And St. Joe, of course, wearing their dark blue jerseys and in the shoulders, wearing a little yellow here tonight. It's Tops sponsoring what the teams are wearing.
Time now to check in on the keys to win for tonight's game. It's brought to us by our friends at the Lilliard Insurance Agency. For Lakeshore, they really want to try to be patient, especially defensively against this St. Joe team with so many different weapons on the squad. And then what what Lakeshore has to be able to do is control the midfield and hit some shots. Goals have been tough to come by at times for this Lakeshore squad, and so they've got to be able to put some balls on net tonight. For St. Joseph, play with pressure, and that's not putting pressure on themselves, it's putting pressure on Lakeshore. Thus, they can force turnovers. Thus, they can create opportunities, and then they need to exploit the opportunities because while they scored 8 goals on Monday night, prior to that, they've had a little bit of problem scoring goals. Those are the keys to win, brought to us by the Lilliard Insurance Agency. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the starting lineups in the opening kick. You're watching high school soccer on the Sports Michiana Game of the Week.
My name's Elizabeth, and I've been a member of the Notre Dame Credit Union for about 37 years. I had been driving a Prius, and I liked the Prius. But unfortunately, I live on a hill, and when it snows, I had a problem. So I called the credit union and told them I needed a new car. We did everything over the phone and the internet, picked up the car, and it was all done in less than a week. I would recommend the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union without question.
Some say hustle and heart don't mix. But at Patrick, we prove otherwise every day. We're bold in our ambition and grounded in respect. Here, leadership is a mindset, and every voice matters. Built on integrity, fueled by collaboration, and united by purpose, we're stronger together. This is Patrick. We are better together.
Looking to buy or sell a home in the Michiana area? Call McInnes Realty, Michiana's fastest growing real estate company where service comes first, built on knowledge, care, and community. Through our Homes for Heroes program, we proudly give back to those who serve. Firefighters, law enforcement, EMTs, military, teachers, and healthcare workers, past or present, qualify for hero rewards when they buy or sell with us. Call McInnes Realty today at 574-271-3440.
And this edition of the Sports Michiana Game of the Week being brought to you by Tire Rack. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. Just about ready for kickoff here. A chance to check on the starting lineups. The Lakeshore starters brought to us by Lakeshore Athletics. Anj?
All right, Sophie DeLaforet, we talked about the senior goalkeeper, 8 saves per game, a 4-year starter. The only other senior in the starting lineup then would be Morgan Meath, a senior defenseman. She's the lone senior starter, not in goal here tonight. Then you have Mary Ann Hughes, a junior midfielder. She averages has 6 points scored this year and needs a key here in terms of controlling the ball this evening. And Hannah Reeser leads the team in scoring with 5 goals and 4 assists. The St. Joe Bears starting lineup brought to you by St. Joe Athletics. You've got Beatrice Lapakis, the senior defenseman, a 4-year starter, all SMAC the last 2 years. Maisie Gable is a sophomore midfielder, 4 goals, 3 assists. And Sally Shelby, a senior forward, 4 goals, 1 assist. She'll play college ball next year.
Chance to check on that series history that you saw just a moment ago, brought to us by our friends at OSMC. Lakeshore leading the all-time series 16-7-3. They've won or tied the last 4. The last meeting, a 1-1 tie on May 7th. The ball is placed on the pitch by our lead official, Luis Aguirre Rivera, and we are just about ready for action here at Upton Field. Luis working with Amy Backus and Tony John Caspro tonight. And St. Joseph pushes the ball deep into Lakeshore territory. Ball controlled down there by Maisie Gable. Gable puts it on net, but DeLaforet is there for the easy pickup. Lakeshore coming into the action with a record of 5-7 on the season, only 1-6 in SMAC play, and Molly Foster just lost the ball on the sidelines.
Lakeshore saves tonight brought to you by Nature's Way Landscaping.
Long toss in for St. Joseph. Sally Shelby trying to control it. Ball poked away down there by Elena Bradley, and Lakeshore is able to push it away. Wen Rommel on defense gets it over to Addie Arnold as the Bears try to set up the attack here with Peyton Thompson, the freshman defenseman. The ball knocked out of bounds off St. Joe, though, and it'll be a throw-in for Lakeshore. We mentioned the Lancers 5-7. St. Joe coming into the action 6-4-2. They beat Battle Creek Central, the bottom of the SMAC conference, on Monday night by a count of 8-0. Here's a little bit of an offensive push for Lakeshore. But Arnold will watch this one roll out the back of the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for the Bears.
Want to help your team look great? It's Tops can help. They're the official outfitter for a number of local schools and even Sports Michiana. And they can do a lot more than just clothes. Learn more at itstops.net.
St. Joe relying on a strong midfield game, and that's where they really want to win a lot of these possessions tonight. Addie Arnold battling for possession over there, loses it on the far sideline, and Lakeshore will have a throw-in in the offensive zone. Molly Foster will toss it in for the Lancers.
Thank you to Tire Rack, the scoreboard sponsor for the Sports Michiana Game of the Week. When it's time for new tires, go to TireRack.com. Their easy-to-use shopping tools will guide you to the right tire, shipped fast and free, and backed by free road hazard protection. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Gable breaking down the right side for St. Joseph. Tried to center it up, but the shot goes awry off the foot of Shelby. Perhaps another look at this one from our friends at Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan. No replay, though, for this, but we are happy to have Corewell Health with us tonight. Long kick down the field, but St. Joe able to contain it with Beatrice Lapikis pushing it back for the Bears. Now here's a takeaway by Hannah Reeser, and Reeser coming in on Roach, and Roach makes the diving stop, but there's ball still loose. Lakeshore fires, and did it go in? Yes! Score, Lancers! Molly Foster was the one who looked like she was putting the rebound in. I don't know if it had to be pushed in at the goal line or not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they decide to credit this goal to, as this is replay brought to you by Corbell Health in Southwest Michigan. Let's see if this one, it appeared it first went in right here, but did it go completely over the line is the question. That might be a question we will, not sure, to be honest. It's one of those rare opportunities where you're not positive who scored the goal.
I would credit the goal to Foster. I do think it went in before Hughes got there at the goal line behind Roach. So Roach pays a price for coming out of the goal aggressively, and an early turnover for the Bears puts Lakeshore on top 1-0. And that is very key for this Lakeshore team. When you take a look at our Papa Vino's factoid here coming up, it's been feast or famine for the Lancers this year. They have been able to outscore opponents 20-1 in wins, but they've been outscored 27-4 in losses. So to get an early lead, pivotal for Brian Samuel's team tonight.
Well, no question about that, and especially considering St. Joe, the heavy favorite coming into this game. Lakeshore has been outscored considerably the last two games. They're on a little bit of a losing streak, but they have one thing going for them. These seniors have never lost to St. Joe, and they came and brought their best effort so far early on here tonight.
By the way, our first half being brought to us by the Lakeland Care Network. St. Joseph trying to get back possession of the ball with Lapicus. And now it goes forward. And that's Ava Mancini sending it up the field for Jillian Conybear. Conybear working on the left side here. And had it poke checked away. Centering effort. It'll come to Gable, but it's knocked away from her. Nice play that time by Bradley. Ball goes wide of the net. It'll be a goal kick for Lakeshore. And our weather tonight here at Upton Field, sponsored by our friends at the 2026 Redbud National. It's a beautiful 53-degree night. There's a gentle zephyr out of the west at 7 miles an hour. But the best news is there's no chance of rain on this turf field.
Before the game, we featured our Student Athletes of the Week presented by Tony Letcher. Tony is a lifelong resident of Michiana and a licensed insurance agent with Health Markets. If you need insurance, Tony is your guy. Google Tony Letcher Health Markets to connect.
Elena Bradley to do the throw-in right by the Lakeshore bench. The battle for the throw-in goes to Avery Fichtner of Lakeshore, but she has it taken away right away by Addie Arnold. Quite the battle here at the 35-yard line, finally won by St. Joseph. Good defensive play there by Caroline Nice. And Lakeshore is able to get the possession back. But can they keep it? That's been the problem for the Lancers here in the early going. They had the one turnover in St. Joe territory. The rest of the game has been primarily played at this end of the field.
Well, that's the beauty of soccer. You get a couple of good runs, and it can make all the difference in the world, and it has so far for Lakeshore. But now, again, can they keep the momentum and win some of those 50-50 balls and retain possession and be able to move the ball from the midfield into an offensive attack will be key here tonight.
Sally Shelby had to go off a Lakeshore defender and out of bounds. She throws it right back in. Bouncing over the head of Genevieve Gatt. Now Jillian Conybear sends it down, but De La Foray is there to make the stop. And the senior with the goal kick gets it down past the 50-yard line. Lakeshore in pursuit, but they couldn't get there. And St. Joe will have a throw in on the far side.
Each week you see the fabulous plaques we present on the Student Athlete of the Week segment brought to you by Tony Letcher of Health Markets. Those plaques are created by Crown Trophy on McKinley and Mishawaka. If you need a trophy, medal, or plaque, call Lori up, nationally known, locally owned Crown Trophy of Mishawaka.
Lakeshore trying to apply some pressure here with Hannah Reeser. Reeser, though, loses the ball over on the far sideline, and the Bears will have the throw-in. An early mistake costly for the St. Joe Bears. They try to bounce back here, but Lakeshore steals the possession with Molly Foster. The battle ensues, and St. Joe is able to force at least a delay in the possession here as Marianne Hughes tried to center it up. Now Gabby Seru lost the ball, Cindel Osegeda lost the ball, and here comes St. Joe the other way. Shelby battling for possession, and Lakeshore able to double team her, and a nice steal that time for the Lancers by Foster. Ahead to Hannah Reeser. Reeser kicks it back towards the middle of the field, poked away that time by Marianne Hughes and out of bounds at St. Joe ball.
Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen on Hilltop Road in St. Joseph is proud to support tonight's broadcast. Looking for a spot for your next party, family gathering, or graduation? Papa Vino's has private rooms for every occasion. Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen, unmistakably Italian, unbelievably good.
Roach comes out from between the pipes to retrieve that loose ball, and she's able to send her teammates down the field as she gets ready to kick it away. Not a very deep punt that time. Lapicus has it for St. Joseph, the 4-year varsity player, cutting across the field. Beatrice Lapicus, all smacked the last 2 years. Still battling for possession now. It's taken away by Lakeshore, and the Lancers get it up the field to Osegeda. Osegeda had it taken away. Here comes Rommel. Rommel feeds Addie Arnold. Arnold to the middle of the field, and now Lakeshore is able to get it back with Osegeda. Past the foot of Reeser, it goes out of bounds by the St. Joseph bench, and Chris Freilich telling his team to calm down. It's been a ragged 8.5-minute start for the Bears.
Corewell Health is proud to cheer on the girls' high school soccer teams of St. Joseph and Lakeshore Public Schools. We're your neighbors and your health partners right here in Southwest Michigan. Corewell Health.
St. Joseph trying to apply some pressure here, but now Selena Gustafson was able to intercept that one for Lakeshore, and the Lancers come the other way. Reeser's back pass finds nobody home. Will it go out of bounds off St. Joe? No, it stays in, and the Bears can't contain it. Here comes Lakeshore. Marianne Hughes will try to fire, but Roach is there to pick up the worm burner. Hughes might have been able to try to take that one a little deeper before she uncorked the shot, and she didn't get a whole lot on it that time. Here comes St. Joseph the other way with Sophia Pirangeli. And Pirangeli going down the left side. Tries to feed it up for Jillian Coneybear. Coneybear tries to cross. It goes off the foot of a Lakeshore player and out of bounds. And will that be called a corner kick, or is it going to be given a goal kick to Lakeshore? It looks like it's a goal kick.
Williams Family Chiropractic Clinic in Granger is a family-focused practice that treats newborns to professional athletes and everyone in between. They offer high-level chiropractic care, digital x-ray diagnostics, and non-surgical spinal decompression. Google Williams Family Chiropractic Clinic to learn more.
Lakeshore kicks it out of bounds, so St. Joe will head it or throw it in from about the 35-yard line of the Lancers, and that's a little too far for the official Luis Aguirre Rivera, and he'll push them back to the 45, which is pretty accurate from where that ball went up. It comes to Beatrice Lapicus. Lapicus trying to get around the defense of Osegeda. Now Rommel dribbles, gets it across the field to Addie Arnold. Now it comes to the foot of Genevieve Gatt. Gatt forward to Jillian Coneybear. Coneybear now gets it up the field on a nice feed to Pirangeli. Pirangeli streaking up the left side. She's guarded well out there by Foster. Pirangeli tried to nutmeg Foster. Foster would have none of it. It goes out of bounds. Do we have our first corner kick of the night? No, went off Pirangeli. It'll be a goal kick for Lakeshore.
Reminder, our first half brought to you by Lakeland Care Network. Also, I'd like to let you know when it comes to insurance, of course, you want a great price. You also want an agent that cares about your family. Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau gets you both. He serves Southwest Michigan and cheers on both teams tonight, but he's always a Bear at heart. Thank you, Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance.
By the way, our first goal tonight brought to us by our friends at the St. Joseph County Police Department. It was a goal off the foot of Molly Foster in the first 3.5 minutes of this one that put Lakeshore ahead 1-0, and that's where we stand right now. Here's Sally Shelby on the outside. Shelby keeps it inbounds, and then it's knocked out of bounds by Lakeshore as Avery Fichtner got the foot on it. Shelby will have to do a throw-in. And the ball comes in. A lot of contact, but no foul. And Lakeshore gains possession. Here comes Foster. Foster tries to feed it ahead, but Lapicus was the first one there for St. Joe, and she knocks it out of bounds. Nearly a foul on Lakeshore, but no call. And now we do have a call against the Lancers, and St. Joe will get the ball back.
Lakeshore Athletics believes when athletes communicate well, support each other, and work together, they perform at their best. Good teamwork leads to strong results on and off the field. Lakeshore Athletics, grounded in tradition, committed to excellence.
St. Joseph wants to make a substitution, but they'll have to wait until they get control on a throw-in. And in the meantime, Lakeshore throws it in off the head that time of Maisie Gable. High kick there by Reeser. Ball bouncing around. Reeser came away with it, and she puts it off her foot, but St. Joe is in control, and they'll get the save here by Roach. Not really a save. There wasn't a shot opportunity, but she came out of the net to get the ball.
Patients trust OSMC because they deliver more than treatment. They provide care that's accessible, high quality, and transparent. Get the care you need when you need it. Visit OSMC.com or their OrthoCare walk-in clinic in Granger off University Drive.
Foul called there on Jillian Coneybear. Gets the ball back to Lakeshore at the Bears 44. Long kick in. Roach is there waiting for it on one hop and controls it easily.
Nature's Way Landscaping in Southwest Michigan's premier landscape company. They are locally owned and operated and specialize in beautiful landscape design and construction.
Maisie Gable coming up the right side off a great feed from Avia Mancini, and the shot knocked away by De La Foret. It's still loose. Lakeshore trying to clear. Here's Coneybear with the ball in front. She can't get control for her shot, and her shot deflected, then another save by De La Foret. Those are sponsored by our friends at Nature's Way Landscaping.
And they are entering their 50th year in business, and you can contact them at natureswayinc.com for lasting results you'll love. Go Lancers.
That ball rolling slowly to the corner, finally going out of bounds, and you'll get another look at this one from our friends at Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan. What a job by De La Foret between the pipes.
Yeah, I didn't plan for the replay to go the way of Nature's Way Landscaping in terms of back-to-back saves, but you certainly get to see it there, and a great opportunity, and that's what you get in a 4-year starting goalie at the back end of the defense.
So still a 1-0 Lakeshore lead, 25 minutes to go here in the first half. Lakeshore trying to get the ball out of its end with Osageda. But the ball knocked away by St. Joseph. Nearly an opportunity for the Bears if they can settle it down. But Lakeshore able to kick it away with Morgan Meath, the senior, one of the 3 seniors on this Lakeshore roster. St. Joseph trying to control the ball here with Charlotte Steele, who checked into the game. Centered up now for Maisie Gable, but she couldn't get the left foot on it. And Lapicus will try to get it for St. Joseph. Lapicus with some nifty footwork around the 30.
Reminder, our first half brought to you by the Lakeland Care Network.
Here's Olivia Burlingame in front, but the top scorer on this St. Joseph team couldn't get the shot off, and Lakeshore comes the other way. Burlingame, the senior, came into the action with 4 goals and 4 assists. The 12 points tops the lineup here for the St. Joe Bears.
The St. Joseph Athletic Department congratulates the girls soccer team on its sportsmanship so far this season and thanks them for competing with integrity, respect, and class. Remember, true victory comes not just from the scoreboard, but from how you play the game. Keep leading with character. Go Bears.
Good job there by St. Joseph, by Lakeshore to knock the ball off St. Joseph and out of bounds. They tried to set up a play for Molly Foster there, but the ball goes out of bounds. Burlingame gets stood up. Physical play at the 37 and a foul called on Hannah Reeser of Lakeshore, and St. Joseph will get the ball back. The Bears have had a couple of opportunities early in this game. Lakeshore only had one, but boy, they cashed it in on a Molly Foster goal right in front. Now St. Joseph on the attack with Charlotte Steele. The young woman committed to Albion for track misses way wide of the net, and it'll be a goal kick for Lakeshore.
Big C Lumber is the best choice for your next home improvement project. Family owned for over 100 years. They know the ins and outs of every home project you need completed, and their knowledgeable sales staff will help you get the job done. See the difference a culture of caring can make at Big C Lumber.
Looks like Caroline Nice will do the kicking here. And Nice's ball goes out of bounds into the Lakeshore bench. And St. Joe will try to inbound from there. Lakeshore had some defensive problems coming into this one. They had allowed a combined 17-2 deficit in the last 3 games. So one of the things that Coach Brian Samuel decided to do was drop an extra defender back and play a 2-3-2-3 in front of De La Forêt. And now we've got a little bit of an injury here for St. Joseph, as it looks like Isabella Lopez took one to the face, and she's going to be taken off to the training table.
Looking to buy or sell a home, McKinnis Realty is where service comes first. Family and veteran-owned, they proudly serve our community heroes through the Homes for Heroes program, helping you save when you buy or sell. Learn more at McKinnisRealty.com.
The bloody nose causes some liquid to be put on the turf to help clean that mess up, and we're just about ready to resume with Elena Bradley doing the toss-in honors for Lakeshore. The ball controlled by Hannah Reeser. She sends it inside. High kick here from Addie Arnold. Now Burlingame tries to set up the offense for St. Joseph, but she took too long, and it's taken away by the Lancers. They try to go to Molly Foster over on the far side. Foster racing for that ball, is able to keep it in. And then she knocks it out of bounds off Nadia Freer, and it'll be a throw in deep in Bears territory for the Lancers. Morgan Meath will handle the throw-in. Meanwhile, a substitution for Lakeshore as Marley Flagga will come into the lineup. And she'll take the place of Hannah Reeser. Flagga, a sophomore who qualified for the state in wrestling at 100 pounds. High bouncing ball at the 10. And a push called on St. Joseph will give Lakeshore a free kick at the 12-yard line. Another golden opportunity here for the Lancers, and let's see what Brian Samuel decides to do here. His junior defenseman, Caroline Nice, who had a goal against a talented Battle Creek Lakeview team, gets ready to try to break the wall right here. Nice waiting for the official's whistle. The keeper, Laney Roach, standing in the middle between the pipes. Nice shot, goes right into that blue wall for the Bears. Good defense for St. Joseph, and they're able to withstand the threat. Nadia Freer tries to turn on Gustafson, and the ball out of bounds to Lakeshore. So now the tempo has switched a little bit, and Lakeshore being the one starting to apply the pressure midway through the first half.
I'd like to welcome those of you watching on Facebook. Had a little technical difficulty with our feed, but we are now up on Facebook. Welcome into our Sports Michiana Game of the Week between Lakeshore and St. Joseph.
Chuck Freeby, Angelo DiCarlo, Ryan Fitzpatrick with you. Charlotte Steele on the run for St. Joseph. Went off the back heel of Olivia Burlingame, and that disrupted the play just enough. Addie Arnold trying to control it at midfield for St. Joseph, but it's taken away nicely by Selena Gustafson of Lakeshore. And the Bears have to regroup in their own end with Gwen Rommel. Rommel has it taken away. Here's Ella Lawrence, the sophomore, and she'll lose it out of bounds, and St. Joseph, no, it'll go to Lakeshore, is the signal on the far side. So the Lancers continuing to ratchet up the pressure here, already leading 1-0 with 19 minutes to go on the Tire Rack scoreboard that you see at the bottom of your screen. 19 minutes left in the first half, of course. A little bit of a wait for the throw in here. And it'll carry him back out where Burlingame will control it for St. Joseph. Burlingame pushes it up the field. This is Ava Mancini. Mancini, you've met her in our Tony Letcher student-athlete segment. Great foot movement there. Mancini keeps it inbounds, but it'll go to the foot of Caroline Nice, and she'll boot it away for Lakeshore. Substitutions now coming in for the Bears, as Jillian Coneybear will re-enter the lineup along with Sally Shelby and Sophia Pirangelli. All three were the original starting lineup.
Since 1959, Patrick Industries in Elkhart has empowered outdoor enthusiasts to achieve next-level recreational experiences. Patrick is a proud supporter of our local teams and athletes, empowering excellence on and off the field.
Long lob in. It goes off the noggin of Morgan Meath and out of bounds. And St. Joseph pushes it down the field that way. Mancini tries to head it. It comes over to Pirangelli. Pirangelli had it thwarted. She'll try to make the turn here. Sophia Pirangelli. Good footwork there. Tries to center it up. De La Forêt is there to make the save. It's a save sponsored by Nature's Way Landscaping. I believe that's the fourth of the night for the Lakeshore keeper.
First half brought to you by Lakeland Care Network.
De La Forêt was a busy young lady last night, making 16 saves in their loss to Matawan. She averages 8 saves a game for the season. Already 4 in this one. And we're a little more than halfway through the first half. The ball coming to Sally Shelby. Shelby right foots it. Booted back by Lakeshore. Here's Burlingame. Burlingame has it taken right away from her by Maya Rezagu of Lakeshore, and the Lancers come the other way. And play on is the call. The ball goes out of bounds off Lakeshore. It'll be a throw-in for Gwen Rommel and St. Joseph. St. Joe will go to the bench now, and Olivia Hine will check into the game as she'll take the place of Peyton Thompson.
See the replay brought to you by Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan.
Rommel had that throw-in spin out of her hands, but it works out well for St. Joseph as Pirangelli goes across the field. Now they'll get it to Coneybear. Coneybear sends it up the field for Charlotte Steele. Steele with good speed knocked it out of bounds off a Lakeshore player, and Coneybear will have the throw-in on the far side. Steele back to Coneybear. She tried to center it, but Mancini couldn't get there in time, and Foster boots it away for Lakeshore, and again it goes out of bounds. But Lakeshore just packing in that defense right now, protecting this 1-0 lead.
Hey, when you have a goalie like you have a 1-0 lead in the game, maybe many thought you would not be ahead in. You're going to do that, but it's a dangerous game. This is known as the Italian national soccer team move, and it doesn't always work out when you're up 1-0 to pack it in.
Nearly a steal, now a steal by Lapicus, and Lapicus boots it forward for St. Joseph. Burlingame tries to set it up, feeds Mancini for the shot. It's just wide.
So how neat was that? Mancini and De La Forêt are 2 student-athletes of the week going head-to-head there, but that one just wide, and Mancini's shot would not go in.
Hannah Reeser checking back into the lineup now for Lakeshore.
Lakeshore scored the first goal of the game. It was officially credited to Molly Foster just minutes into the contest.
About 3.5 into this one. Came off a turnover on the near side, and they were able to apply pressure with Hannah Reeser. Now Shelby with a long boot that sails wide, and it'll be a goal kick for De La Forêt. Sally Shelby, committed to play at Olivet to play soccer, wants to be an athletic trainer. Lakeshore, the ball going over the head of Reeser, and St. Joseph takes it away. Shelby gets it up to Burlingame. Burlingame trying to work around a defender. Burlingame with the left foot pushed it forward. Steele disrupts the play for the Bears, but it's booted away by Lakeshore. Lapicus heads it back in for the St. Joe Bears. Burlingame set it up for Coney Bear. She didn't get a lot on the shot, and that's an easy Nature's Way landscaping save for De La Foret. 13:52 to go first half. Still 1-0 Lakeshore.
Beautiful night. Our weather tonight brought to you by Red Bud National. They're celebrating. You can celebrate America's 250th birthday at the Red Bud National in Buchanan on the 4th of July. World-class pro motocross action, massive jumps, and nonstop excitement right here in Southwest Michigan. Bring the whole family for the nation's biggest motocross race. Get your tickets at redbudmx.com. And a save by De La Foret, brought to you by Nature's Way Landscaping. By the way, Chuck, can we get a red bud?
A red bud. Sophia Pirangeli with the shot that time. Couldn't get it past De La Foret. If you've never been to Red Bud for that 4th of July event, it's something everybody should go to at least once. A foul called from behind here on Lakeshore's Ella Lawrence. And St. Joseph will have a free kick.
Definitely one of the great events and one of my favorite ones that I got to cover during my years at WNDU.
St. Joseph taking its time, getting everybody set up for this free kick here.
First half brought to you by Lakeland Care Network. They offer occupational health and medical compliance services such as, well, we'll tell you about that in a second on this break here for the Lancers.
Foster trying to chase it down, but Addie Arnold was right there with her stride for stride. Foster pushes it back in one more time. And Coney Barrel will knock it out of bounds. Lakeshore will have a throw-in.
Lakeland Care Network offers occupational health and medical compliance services such as autometric testing, respiratory clearance and fit testing, firefighter physicals, and safety required programs. Learn more at lakelandcare.com. Best of luck to both teams tonight.
Osageda and Fichtner come back in for Lakeshore on the throw-in. Lancers center it up, but they couldn't get Ella Lawrence there in time. St. Joe able to knock it away. Burlingame boots it back towards her own net, but it's going to go out of bounds, and this will be Lakeshore ball, and they'll have their first corner kick of the night.
Another opportunity already ahead, 1-0. Can they add to it here?
Avery Fichtner, the freshman, will take the kick. She had the game-winning goal in their 1-0 triumph over Edwardsburg this year. Hoping to get her second assist of the season if she can center something up. Good ball from the corner, but it didn't quite get far enough to the net. And it's knocked away by St. Joe. And Lakeshore will have it on the throw-in. Throw-in goes over the head of a St. Joe defender. Lakeshore trying to hold it in, but they couldn't. And this will be a St. Joe goal kick.
Need same-day care for your family? Skip the wait and use the On My Way tool at CorwellHealth.org to check in before you arrive at any of their walk-in clinics. Corwell Health.
Ball caroms around out there. Lakeshore holding it in. Hannah Reeser done a nice job tonight on the attack. Tried to center it up for Osageda. Now Foster on the far side. She's played a wonderful game here for Lakeshore so far tonight. Is able to boot it off a St. Joe defender, and it'll be a corner kick again by Fichtner for Lakeshore. Substitutions for both sides. Marianne Hughes comes in for Lakeshore, and Maisie Gable and Genevieve Gatt will return to the lineup for St. Joseph. See if Fichtner gets a little bit more on this ball. She did. It was a nice ball into the center, but St. Joe made first contact with it, and the Bears raced the other way. In pursuit is Steele, and Steele knocks a Lakeshore player asunder, gives her a little pat on the back, but St. Joe comes up with the ball, and they send it in for Ava Mancini. Mancini tries to send one wide, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll be Lakeshore ball.
That was a great job by St. Joe flipping the field very quickly, but it does not end up in any goals there. And as you take a look at the replay, brought to you by Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan. A lot of physicality in the War by the Shore on that replay. Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen on Hilltop Road in St. Joseph is proud to support tonight's broadcast. Check out their Manicotti Mondays. That's dinner portion Manicotti. All day Mondays for $9.99. Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen, unmistakably Italian, unbelievably good.
We appreciate Papa Vino's and our friends at Quality Dining being on the team tonight. As Molly Foster gets ready for the throw-in with 8.5 minutes left here in the first half.
Papa Vino's sponsoring our factoids this evening. When it comes to insurance, of course, you want a great price.
Ball comes in, but Lakeshore heads it, and it's going to go out of bounds. Is it going to be a corner kick? Yes, it is. The first one of the night for the St. Joe Bears.
You also want an agent that cares about your family. Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau gets you both. He serves Southwest Michigan and cheers on both teams tonight, but he's always a Bear at heart. Thank you, Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance.
Ava Mancini, who's had some big assists for this team this year. She leads the squad with 4 of them. She'll take the corner kick here. Mancini with a good ball. It goes to the middle, but it's headed way too high by St. Joseph. And Lakeshore survives the threat.
Lakeshore Athletics believes when athletes communicate well, support each other, and work together, they perform at their best. Good teamwork leads to strong results on and off the field. Lakeshore Athletics, grounded in tradition, committed to excellence.
I think that was Steele with the header attempt that time that would not go in. Lakeshore waiting for one of the players to tie a shoe. That was Reeser. And now we can resume. Here's Avery Fichtner coming up in front of the Lancer bench. Sends one ahead. She's trying to connect with Marianne Hughes, but Addie Arnold a little bit too fast that time. And Arnold able to poke it away and a holding call on Hughes. Opportunities have been so frustrating here for Lakeshore as you get another look from Corwell Health. And, yeah, you can't reach around and just smack somebody on the back like that.
Generally speaking, that's frowned upon.
In this establishment.
Nature's Way Landscaping in Southwest Michigan is Southwest Michigan's premier landscape company. They're locally owned and operated and specialize in beautiful landscape design and construction. Nature's Way is entering its 50th year in business, and you can contact them at natureswayinc.com for lasting results you'll love. Go Lancers.
Ball controlled right now by Lakeshore's Marley Flagga. Sends it over to the far side to Molly Foster. Foster has it taken away at midfield. B. Lapicus for St. Joseph. Their veteran defenseman. Trying to mess things up here for Reeser, but Reeser is able to get around Lapicus, and now Reeser is coming in a little 2-on-3, and a sliding play by Arnold takes it away. What a beautiful play by Addie Arnold. And a dandy right there. And you'll get another look at this one, I believe, from Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan. Watch the play by number 13, Addie Arnold, who had to come a long way to get there.
Absolutely, and then also having the goalie converge as well. She just ran out of space. Good job there by St. Joan. Good communication between the goalie and the defenseman.
Really did a sandwich job that time on the attacking player for Lakeshore. 5:25 to go first half. Lakeshore with the lead. Reeser. Was she able to get the corner kick there? She was. Great sportsmanship between these two longtime rivals here in Southwest Michigan. This is the 27th meeting on the pitch for the girls' side between these two. And for most of those, it's been these two coaches, Brian Samuel and Chris Freilich, who are good friends. Long kick in off the foot of Fichtner. It went past everybody, and St. Joe had it on the foot, but now it goes back in, and Roach has to make her first save.
The St. Joseph Athletic Department congratulates the girls soccer team on its sportsmanship so far this season and thanks them for competing with integrity, respect, and class. Remember, true victory comes not just from the scoreboard, but from how you play the game. Keep leading with character. Go Bears.
Coney Bear had an opportunity there, but it was thwarted by the Lakeshore defense, and now the ball knocked away, and it'll be St. Joe's ball. It goes under the foot of St. Joe's Sophia Pirangeli, but here comes Coney Bear again. tried to direct it up the field. Instead, the ball caroms over to Morgan Meath, and Meath will knock it out of bounds for Lakeshore. Down to 4 minutes plus here in the first half. Lakeshore got the goal in the opening 3.5 minutes, and they have been able to keep that 1-0 lead despite some opportunities for the Bears here in the first half.
First half brought to you by the Lakeland Care Network, a very good one here for Lakeshore.
Sophia Pirangeli trying to work her way around the defender Avery Fickner. And the St. Joe fans a little disappointed that they didn't get a call there, but instead it'll be a goal kick for Lakeshore.
Notre Dame Federal Credit Union is the financial institution of choice for Sports Michiana, plus hundreds of churches and schools. Utilize their unique Elevate tools to help raise funds and drive your mission. Go to NotreDameFCU.com/elevate to learn more.
Actually, not a goal kick. They called a foul against St. Joseph down there, but Bears get the ball back. Pirangeli's long throw in goes off ahead. Steele tried to head it, and De La Foret gobbles it up. Lakeshore, one of their keys tonight on defense was be patient. They have shown that tonight. They've been able to pack some things in. Always a little bit different when you can play with the lead.
Since 1959, Patrick Industries in Elkhart has empowered outdoor enthusiasts to achieve next-level recreational experiences. Patrick is a proud supporter of our local teams and athletes, empowering excellence on and off the field.
Lakeshore with the throw-in at the midfield stripe. Big night for Lakeshore teams. The softball team, coached by the legendary Denny Dock, taking on number 1 Paw Paw up there at Cone Field. Hoping to hear how that one goes. In the meantime, Ava Mancini bumped off the ball from behind by Hannah Reeser, and Mancini knocks it out of bounds to the Lakeshore bench.
Ferret Custom Roll Forming, the best choice in metal fabrication, provides ISO certified quality with unparalleled service and support. At Ferret Custom Roll Forming, we form value. Learn more at ferretrollforming.com.
Good defense here by Pirangeli, and she'll knock it staying in bounds. Coney Bear in pursuit for St. Joseph, but she couldn't get there in time before it was booted away by Caroline Nice. Pirangeli with the throw in here. Off the foot of Ava Mancini. Mancini trying to get it back to Pirangeli, and Pirangeli is there to scoop it up. Couldn't keep it in bounds, though, and the ball will go out of bounds, and the official on the side needing a little help. And a yellow card, I believe, has been given here to Lakeshore. So the yellow card given as Sophia Pirangeli is taken down, and you'll get another look here from Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan. Watch Pirangeli coming down here on the side, and the slide tackle was made on Pirangeli and not the ball by Elena Bradley.
Yeah, that's the key. You have to make an concentrated effort at the ball. She kind of just put the foot out there. When you put the foot out there a little negligibly like that, they're going to give you a yellow card.
So a free kick to be taken here by St. Joseph with 1:15 to go in the first half. Addie Arnold looking to put it into play. Arnold sends it in. De La Foret punches it away. Ball loose on the left side, but it's going the wrong way for the Bears, and the Lancers are able to get control and knock it away.
Locally owned Central Automotive in downtown South Bend is your answer for oil changes, brakes, air conditioning repair, general maintenance, and more. Check them out at Lafayette and Colfax. Central Automotive, we're here for all your automotive needs.
And indeed, it did not go out of bounds off Lakeshore. It went off of St. Joseph, and so the Lancers will have the throw in here with under a minute to go first half, trying to see if they can get one more opportunity perhaps in the half.
Looking to renovate your home? Call our friends at Reliance. They have decades of experience in home building and remodeling, and we'd like to congratulate Reliance on 25 years of business. Reliance, design, build, renovate.
Charlotte Steele tried to feed it up the middle of the field, poked away by Lakeshore with 15 on the clock. Can the Bears get one last chance? Arnold's ball intercepted by Lakeshore. Lapicus at midfield as the countdown goes on. Mancini trying to go for Pierangeli, but she's got a player in front of her in Fickner. And the first half comes to an end here at Upton Field. And a solid first half for the Lakeshore Lancers as Brian Samuel's team is able to pick up a 1-0 lead on St. Joseph. And we get ready to go downstairs to Ryan Fitzpatrick. He has a Patrick sideline report with the head coach of the Lakeshore Lancers.
Yeah, Coach, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, exciting half. We're playing with high energy. Hannah set the tone early for us, attacking that goal with pace and strength. And I love that we crashed the net, 3 times before that ball actually got knocked in. So just good aggressive play on the offensive end. We're getting behind the ball and being patient on the defensive end, so good stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Yep. Stick around, everybody. A lot to talk about on the halftime highlights with the Tom's Car Care Center halftime highlights, and it'll come your way next on the Sports Michiana Game of the Week.
Shopping for tires used to really ruffle my feathers. That was before I went to TireRack.com. TireRack made it easy to identify the right tires. No more searching high and low. I got the best deal. TireRack has thousands of recommended installers. I chose a mobile installer. They brought the tires to my neck of the woods and put them on, right here in my driveway.
You're all done?
Thank you. When it's time for new tires, trust the experts. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Medicare plans can be confusing, but they don't have to be. I'm Tony Letcher, licensed insurance agent. I can help you compare your options because I'm appointed with many nationally recognized carriers. With my help, you can find the coverage that fits your needs and budget. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Letcher today to schedule your free consultation or visit tletcher.com.
Let's be honest, shopping for window treatments can be a real pain in the glass. Shades, shutters, blinds, drapes, the options are endless. Avoid expensive mistakes and return shipping with online retailers. Call the local team at Quality Window Treatments. Their entirely local process makes choosing the right look for your space easy. They bring the showroom to you during your in-person consultation. And with hands-off local installation, you never make a measurement. Visit QualityWindowTreatment.com to book your free consultation and see your space in a whole new light.
And this edition of the Sports Michiana Game of the Week being brought to you by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. They're putting people over profits. Halftime here at Upton Field, 1-0. We welcome you inside the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union broadcast booth alongside Angelo DiCarlo, Chuck Freeby high above the fray. Thoughts on the first half?
Rivalries, man. You just never know what you're going to get based on the way the teams have been playing, especially the last 2 weeks. St. Joe probably a considerable favorite in this one. St. Joe said, hey, we know it's going to be a good game. But when you looked at it just on paper and you're looking at common opponents and everything like that, St. Joe's the clear favorite coming in. Here's Lakeshore up 1-0, and they've owned this rivalry, and they're able to own the first half here tonight.
Let's show you how it got to be this way with our Tom's Car Care Center first half highlights. Hannah Reeser pushing in. The ball eventually caroms over to Molly Foster, and we believe that's when that ball went in, before Marianne Hughes touched it. We'll get a final update from down on the field. Meanwhile, Sophie DeLaForêt came up with some back-to-back saves right here to maintain that 1-0 lead, nearly leaping her way out of that one, but managing to save it with a kick save. And DeLaForêt one more time when Sophia Pierangeli made the shot. Finally, Lakeshore was able to apply some pressure late in the first half, but a nice defensive play there by Addie Arnold helped keep the Lancers at bay. Still, it's a 1-0 Lakeshore lead here at the intermission. We've got plenty of sponsors for this one, and we'd like for you to pay attention to their commercials here. We're back with second half play-by-play shortly on Sports Michiana.
Your car carries precious cargo. It needs to be dependable, rain or shine. Let Tom's Car Care Center in South Bend help take the stress out of your car's maintenance. We'll change your oil in 10 minutes, flush your transmission, replace your wiper blades, and much more. Oil changes include a half-price car wash when needed. Welcome to your extended family, Tom's Car Care Center.
Founded in 2001 by brothers Sam and Levi, Reliance has built a reputation for excellence, providing high-quality home building and renovation services to the Michiana area. From single-room renovations like kitchens and bathrooms to building your dream home from the ground up, everything benefits from their decades of experience. From concept to completion, Reliance makes even the largest projects simple and hassle-free. To find out more, visit RelianceDBR.net. Reliance. Design, build, renovate.
With SurfFiber Internet, you'll catch all the big plays as they happen. The winning goal, the last-second three-pointer, the walk-off home run, the touchdown that changes everything. You'll see them all. No lag, no throttling, no buffering, no missed highlights. Just blazing fast streaming from start to finish. Whatever sport you love to watch, Surf keeps you connected. Surf Internet, built for game day and every day. Score big today with fiber internet plans starting at just $30 a month, including free Wi-Fi, free installation, all-in pricing, and price lock for life.
And this edition of the Sports Michiana Game of the Week being brought to you by McKinnis Realty. It's Realty with a purpose, and our purpose right now in the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union broadcast booth is to take you around the area with the McKinnis Realty Around the Area scoreboard. Of course, here at Upton Field, girls soccer, Lakeshore leading by a count of 1-0. Another Lakeshore team in action tonight. Denny Doc's softball team ranked third in the state of Michigan. They were taking on number one Pawpaw tonight at Cone Field in a doubleheader. And what a performance by Ashley Ramirez in the first game of that doubleheader. She fans 12, and the aged Denny Doc sees his Lakeshore team go to 20-1 on the season with a victory there by a count of 5-1. Meanwhile, they trail in the nightcap of the doubleheader by a count of 6-2 in the fourth inning. One other Michigan score to report, and that's from the sport of baseball. Brendan Olson, the young man from Niles who's committed to the University of Houston, hits a home run in the eighth inning. Jacks rocked fans 11, and a Niles baseball team that is having a spectacular season is able to hold off Vicksburg tonight by a count of 3-2. So that's our McKinnis Realty Around the Area scoreboard. When we come back, it's time for second half play-by-play in this one. As you watch some of the smaller fans enjoy their time here on Upton Field, it's been a happy time for Lakeshore so far. They're up 1-0 on the Sports Michiana Game of the Week.
My name is Chuck. I'm a member of Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. The flexibility of having a HELOC made it simple to add items as we were going through the process of updating our house. So we didn't have to do everything at once. We could do it a little at a time as things changed, which made it flexible for us to use builders when they had downtime and get better prices for them. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Notre Dame Federal Credit Union.
Ready to be part of our winning team? The St. Joseph County Police Department is hiring, and we are looking for people of all ages who want to make a difference. With a starting salary of $52,000 plus full benefits, including medical, dental, vision, and vacation, you are in control of your future. So whether you're just entering the game or looking for a new position, now is the time to get off the sideline. Learn more today at sjcpd.org.
Why is Babsco the premier electrical distributor? Because they have breakers, boxes, switches, resets, clamps, tapes, relays, covers, timers, batteries, wires, labels, ballast, heat-shrink, fixtures, plugs, tubing, lamps, load centers, and conduit. You can do it with Babsco Supply. With 2 locations in Elkhart and Warsaw. Visit Babsco.com. Babsco Supply, where they have everything.
Experience the summer in style with decking from Big C Lumber. From the professional to the do-it-yourselfer, Big C will assist you through the entire deck planning process. Big C's selection of composite and PVC decking material offers durability and low maintenance, all while maintaining the look and feel of real wood. Our free delivery service ensures more of your budget is allocated toward your project. Revitalize your outdoor living space with Big C Lumber.
And this edition of the Sports Michiana Game of the Week being brought to you by Patrick, empowering outdoor enthusiasts since 1959. They empower Ryan Fitzpatrick for a Patrick Sideline Report.
Hey, Chuck. I got a chance to talk to the coach, and he goes, "What can you say about the first half?" He said, "It was very competitive. You know, both teams were taking shots at the goal. Unfortunately, their shots weren't making it in. But the one thing he really wanted to get across to his team was settle down, take your time. If you got the shot, take the shot. Don't rush it. They're just not playing how they normally would play."
Well, we'll see if they can taper that off and take that advice from Chris Fralick here in the second half. This is a St. Joe team that has had its struggles beating Lakeshore. Haven't been able to beat them since 2022.
Yeah, and that means the seniors have not been able to beat them, so that's the key as we get ready for the second half. I think this will be a St. Joe squad that's now motivated here in the second half. And as Ryan mentioned, sometimes the ball just doesn't go in the back of the net. A lot of that is contributed by your own play, but sometimes you get unlucky in this sport. Now you have your back up against the wall, and let's see if St. Joe can make a comeback here in the second half. This second half brought to you by Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance. And also want to let you know the opening kickoff of the second half brought to you by Babsco with locations in Warsaw and Elkhart. Babsco is proud to be one of the largest employee-owned electrical distributors in all of Michiana. From professional contractors to DIY enthusiasts, Babsco has you covered for all your electrical needs. If you're up in Michigan and you need a place with electrical opportunities, it's worth the drive down to Elkhart.
Lakeshore with the opening kick of the second half. It's Selena Gustafson who will do the honors at midfield. The sophomore has had a strong year at center back for Brian Samuel's team. And the Lancers awaiting the whistle. There it is from Luis Aguirre Rivera, and we are underway. And St. Joe coming out with a vengeance. Sally Shelby coming right down the field, fires, and it goes a little bit wide.
Thank you to the Lilliard Insurance Agency for all their work in helping Sports Michiana gets all its insurance needs. Real people, real service, real value. That's their slogan, but Matt Lilliard and his team also live it every day. Visit realvalueins.com to get the personal touch you deserve.
And St. Joe intercepts the kick. Here's Coney Bear working around one defender. Gets thwarted, and Lakeshore is able to push it back out to Mancini. Mancini centers it up for Shelby. Shelby working from the 15-yard line. Shelby tried to go right. She got double-teamed, and Gustafson takes it away for Lakeshore. Off the foot of Reeser. The Lancers try to bring it up the field, but there's Addie Arnold once again for St. Joe on defense. The ball poked away. St. Joe able to switch sides here. They get the ball forward, but bad communication that time, and the pass from Genevieve Gack goes out of bounds.
Yeah, they're doing a good job with good ball movement, but all it takes is one misstep there, and they weren't reading each other well, and the ball goes out of bounds instead of being able to push the ball forward and having an opportunity for a goal on the other side of it. But St. Joe getting the ball back quickly here, and time of possession's been in their favor here early on in the second half. Respect, loyalty, pride, courage, integrity, and dedication. Those are the many ways officers at the St. Joseph County Police Department are serving our community. If you're looking for a career change that can really make a difference, visit sjcpd.org to learn more. And it's been a busy night for officers in both Indiana and Michigan, so our prayers out to everyone involved in some incidents that have happened this evening.
Ball going out of bounds. This will be off Lakeshore, and St. Joe will retain possession. Gwen Rommel will handle the throw-in. Her older sister Ava played and graduated last year. Rommel, a member of the Bears basketball team as well. Lapicus now with it in the middle of the field. Beatrice Lapicus working her way up, gives it to Jillian Coneybear. Coneybear coming right up the middle of the field, fires one, and De La Foret watches it go right to the gloves. Another save for Nature's Way Landscaping.
Tom's Car Care Center on Sugar Maple Lane, just off of Bendix, provides complete car care services like tire rotation, inspections, oil changes. They even have the Coffee Spot Cafe where you can grab breakfast or lunch, and the Waterworks Car Wash. 3 great spots, 1 great location, Tom's Car Care Center.
Lapicus now on the attack for St. Joe. Over to Pirangeli. Pirangeli couldn't control it, but they get it back with Genevieve Gatt. Gatt sends it up the middle of the field. De La Forêt moves to the side of the net to corral this one.
Sports Michiana's apparel, courtesy of our friends at It's Tops in Mishawaka. Clothes, office supplies, mugs. If you want to put your logo on something, odds are It's Tops can make it happen. Locally run since 1976, It's Tops gives you the personalized attention you deserve. Learn more at itstops.net.
Here's Maisie Gable handling the ball on the far side. Has it poked away. And Rommel was able to send it off the foot of a Lakeshore player, Reeser, and out of bounds, so the Bears get it back.
Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you need, Tire Rack makes it easy. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Shelby with those pink shoes trying to control it. Shelby fires and it goes high. 3 points on a Friday night, but nothing here.
Our halftime highlights, as we mentioned earlier, were brought to you by Tom's Car Care Center, and they provided us the only goal of the evening so far. Both teams trying to get another opportunity here. Haven't had the best of opportunities so far in the second half with shots on goal, but certainly for Lakeshore's purposes, Sophie De La Forêt has done an excellent job in the net protecting the Lakeshore goal.
Sophia Pirangeli comes in for the Bears. Her shot stopped by defense, and then Shelby's shot goes wide.
Thank you to Tony Letcher for his incredible support of Sports Michiana. Tony is a licensed insurance agent with Health Markets. If you're looking for assistance with Medicare, family, or individual health insurance, Google Tony Letcher Health Markets or visit tletcher.com.
I think that's another play where Chris Freilich probably wanted to see his team just take a little bit more time, be a little bit more patient on the attack because they had room that time. But Shelby rushed the shot on the rebound.
Yeah, there is 35 minutes left in this game. You're only down by one. There is no need whatsoever to rush. You want to establish things. You want to make the next pass and get the best opportunity possible. You definitely want to get shots on goal, no question. But you also don't want to waste a good opportunity when you get down inside the 18.
Ball goes over the head of Gatt, and Lakeshore sends it back out. And the Lancers maintain possession here. Finally, St. Joe able to take it away. They put it on the foot of Pirangeli. Pirangeli working up the left side, feeds Mancini going towards the corner. Mancini tried to control it and couldn't, and Lakeshore will get it back.
Williams Family Chiropractic Clinic in Granger is a family-focused practice that treats newborns to professional athletes and everyone in between. They offer high-level chiropractic care, digital X-ray diagnostics, and non-surgical spinal decompression. Google Williams Family Chiropractic Clinic to learn more.
Where Lakeshore's defense has been effective tonight, Odge, is they have rarely given St. Joe opportunities in the middle of the field, except for the first couple of minutes of this half. They've really been able to push the Bears to the outside and give De La Forêt good angles to look at shots.
And St. Joe has so many weapons that you would think that they'd be able to get it inside to one of those players because they have so many options on the outside to feed it in. But it has not worked to their advantage at all tonight, as you mentioned. And because of that, when you have tough angles on your shots, that makes the opportunities that much smaller. It is hard enough to score a goal in soccer, let alone when you're not getting good looks from the top of the key.
How much of that do you think is because of the third defender that Brian Samuel has slipped down there? As here's Gustafson trying to work around Addie Arnold, and Arnold is able to take it away from her with some nifty footwork.
Well, certainly when you have more defenders back and you're limiting the opportunities more and you're able to prevent players from making big moves inside, it makes a huge difference. Like right there, they drove in, but they hadn't quite gotten it to the 18. They took a shot. Maybe it was a attempt for a feed, but that's one of those where that is a low percentage shot. It is worth dribbling more and trying to get a pass off to make a better opportunity than it is there, because you're talking less than 1% chance you're going to score on a goalie like Sophie De La Forêt on a play like that.
Foul called there on Jillian Conybear of St. Joseph, and so Lakeshore will get possession here with a free kick from its own 10-yard line.
Corewell Health is proud to cheer on the girls' high school soccer teams of St. Joseph and Lakeshore Public Schools. We're your neighbors and your health care partners right here in Southwest Michigan. Corewell Health.
Might have been a handball there by Gap, but nobody saw it. And so here comes St. Joseph the other way. Conybear trying to come up the middle of the field. Now she passes the 18, fires, but there's De La Forêt with another save for Nature's Way Landscaping as she has positioned herself beautifully tonight. Kind of the mark of her veteran presence in pipes.
No question about it. 4-year starter, excellent student athlete. She was our student athlete of the week, presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets. Has done a fabulous job back there as a leader and a captain of this team. They only have 4 seniors on the squad overall.
Shelby with a shot, and again, De La Forêt positioned well right in front of it.
But again, a lot of these shots are coming from outside of the 18. When you're out of the box shooting it, those are very low percentage opportunities, and that makes it a lot easier for De La Forêt.
Both teams wanting to make substitutions here. St. Joseph will send Nadia Freer and Charlotte Steele back into the game, while Lakeshore will counter with Maya Rezagu and Marley Flagga.
Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen on Hilltop Road in St. Joseph is proud to support tonight's broadcast. Looking for a spot for your next party, family gathering, or graduation? Papa Vino's has private rooms for every occasion. Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen, unmistakably Italian, unbelievably good.
Let's see how St. Joseph plays this possession. They tried to get it in the center that time for Freer, but the ball knocked away by Lakeshore and the Lancers in control.
Second half brought to you by Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance.
St. Joseph pushing it back towards the other end. Conybear in possession of it, gets it around Reeser. Conybear up the field now. She'll get it to Maisie Gable. Gable going in on the right side. De La Forêt right in its tracks again. Another save sponsored by Nature's Way Landscaping. And while the pressure continues from the Bears, they haven't been able to get anything from point-blank range.
Take a look at the replay brought to you by Corwell Health here. And another save there by Sophie De La Forêt. And back to live action, we're going to get a
foul called against Lakeshore. No yellow card, but Ava Mancini is going to have an opportunity with a free kick from the 11-yard line here on the left side.
Direct kick outside the box. Great crossing opportunity. Don't expect her to put this one necessarily on net. De La Forêt has to be careful of that possibility, but this might be a good one to get one lofted in the air and go for a head ball. But also, they can also work it back if they decide it won't be good of a chance, as they could push the ball back and reset.
Mancini herself a veteran player. She was all-conference a couple of years ago. And she will send this one right towards the net, and De La Forêt is right there. Another Nature's Way Landscaping save.
I lied, but I think she might have been better off if she tried to pass that one off and get a header.
Well, you said it was still a possibility to go on net.
It's just such a hard opportunity and shot from that position.
And a whistle here. And I believe a foul is going to be called on Lakeshore as Jada Fulgham was moving up the field with the ball. And we'll take another look here from our friends at Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan.
Yeah, I'm actually well, they whistled it after because of the lack of the advantage, so they decided to call the foul, which is a good work there by our officials here tonight. I think at first they were going to wave it off because it looked like Lakeshore was going to be able to move the ball downfield, but St. Joe got the ball, so they called the foul.
And as always, the soccer officials reminding me before the game, hey, we need more bodies too. Contact your local officiating association if you are interested in helping out in high school athletics, or actually any educational-based athletics. Here's Ava Mancini coming up the middle of the field for St. Joseph. Lakeshore very good in defensive transition here. Mancini pushing to the right side. Now gets it back after the ball ricochets back out. Wanted to feed Gatt. Gatt's able to take the ball away from Reeser. Gatt puts it off the foot of Reeser, and Conybear has it now. Conybear for St. Joseph. Conybear gets it across the field. We'll see how the Bears do going forward here as they try to get it to Steele, but it's knocked out of bounds, and Lakeshore will get it back.
Lakeshore Athletics believes when athletes communicate well, support each other, and work together, they perform at their best. Good teamwork leads to strong results on and off the field. Lakeshore Athletics, grounded in tradition, committed to excellence.
One of the things Chris Freilich was working with his St. Joe players on at practice yesterday was trying to cross the face of a player on the attack and try to drive him things back towards the middle. They haven't really been successful at that tonight.
No, they've tried to do it, but the touch hasn't been there. Sometimes you're not quite as crisp as you normally expect to be, and the touch of the ball on the foot doesn't go the way you want. And that's something St. Joe's going to have to overcome here tonight if they want to come back into this game.
Nifty footwork there by the Lancers. Gets the ball out of trouble. Here's Lapicus for St. Joe. Lapicus feeds it forward to Nadia Freer. Freer back to Mancini. Mancini now ahead. Gets it to Charlotte Steele. Steele with a shot in, and it goes in! Charlotte Steele got into the middle of the field and pushes it to the side of the net past Sophia de la Foret, and we're tied at 1.
Well, I've talked about not wanting to take an opportunity outside the 18 too much, but this is a very good opportunity because you're right in front of the net. As you take a look at the replay brought to you by Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan, that is the opportunity St. Joseph was looking for. She got it. She put it to the back of the net into the corner. Excellent effort by the Bears there to tie the game up at 1 with 26:52 left.
Steele now leads this team in goals for the season with 5, which is remarkable considering her number one spring sport is track. She was the champion at last week's Rotary meet in the 300-meter hurdles, and she's committed to Albion College for that sport.
And she also comes off the bench because of the fact that she is primarily a track and field competitor. So she comes off the bench and now the leading scorer on this St. Joseph Bears team. And what an effort she is able to provide her team there with an excellent goal just outside the 18.
So a 1-1 tie in this one with 26:52 left. And all of a sudden, momentum wearing blue and gold. Can Lakeshore bounce back from this? Or does St. Joe have the momentum?
That goal brought to you by St. Joe Bears Athletics.
Nadia Freer battling for position, and Freer called for the foul against Hannah Reeser. And the Bears fans down below shout their disapproval.
Well, you can see the excitement in the fan base shift. Every goal in soccer is so crucial, but suddenly you're not coming from behind. Now you have an opportunity to win the game if you can get another goal. But for St. Joe at the same time, you have to make sure you keep on getting the job done defensively here and don't let Lakeshore quickly answer on this direct kick opportunity.
Caroline Nice will make contact at the St. Joe 29. A very small wall in front of her with Burlingame and Steele. Nice drills it over their heads, and it'll go wide of the net.
That was a good ball. They just couldn't get it to somebody, but it had potential and an opportunity. It just didn't work out for the Lancers. Each week you see the fabulous plaques we present in our Tony Letcher Health Markets Student Athletes of the Week interviews. Those plaques created by Crown Trophy on McKinley in Mishawaka. If you need a trophy, medal, or plaque, you call Lori and her family up. Nationally known, locally owned Crown Trophy of Mishawaka.
We talked about getting the ball to the middle of the field being so important for St. Joe. They were able to do that on the Steele goal, and because of that, it took away the angle for De La Foret.
Yeah, you mentioned that they weren't getting good looks and forced to be on the outside so much, and that was the exact opposite. You can't get a better opportunity than being right in front of the net.
Steele bodies it to Olivia Burlingame. Burlingame turns and feeds Steele. Steele with a good back heel play. Here's another shot, and De La Foret comes up big on this one with a save from Nature's Way Landscaping.
Similar location, not as clean because there was a defender in the way, but another good look there by Steele. And now St. Joe is able to get those good looks just outside of the box. That's a great opportunity now for St. Joe. If they can continue to apply that pressure and get those opportunities, they may have a chance here to score that second goal.
Rommel was able to defend well there and earn a throw in, but Luis Aguirre Rivera, our lead official tonight, says you took the throw in about 10 yards too far down the field.
Yeah, every soccer player always tries to do that. By the way, our second half brought to you by Chris Blazek with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance.
St. Joseph with Ava Mancini driving the ball around the right side, taken away by Selena Gustafson of Lakeshore. Gustafson's pass intercepted. Here come the Bears the other way. Burlingame in the middle of the field. Burlingame with the right foot. They set it back to Lapicus. Lapicus, and now it's Sally Shelby. Shelby, middle of the field, finds a cutter, but the pass goes off the foot of Pirangeli. She's got to go way to the outside to get it back. Pirangeli trying to get it back towards the middle of the field, intercepted by Reeser, and the Lancers come the other way. 23-26 to go in regulation, tied at 1, and the ball knocked out of bounds. A throw in for St. Joseph.
At OSMC, you're not just treated, you're cared for, guided from diagnosis through recovery with clarity and trust. Get the care you need when you need it. Visit OSMC.com or their OrthoCare walk-in clinic in Granger off University Drive.
While Lakeshore makes some subs, let's feed you a factoid from our friends at Papa Vino's. This one called One or Done, and it's very applicable now for the St. Joe Bears because they are 6-0-1 this season when they score at least one goal. You don't score, you can't win. They're 0-4-1 when they're blanked.
Now, the key there is they've scored their one goal, so they should not lose if that stat proves correct. It doesn't mean that they're definitely going to win. It could be a tie based on that one tie they've already had so far this year.
And the factoid brought to us by our friends at Papa Vino's.
Big C Lumber is the best choice for your next home improvement project. Family owned for over 100 years. They know the ins and outs of every home project you need completed, and their knowledgeable sales staff will help you get the job done. See the difference a culture of caring can make at Big C Lumber.
Pete Lapicus kept it inbound for St. Joe, and the ball caroms out of bounds off the foot of a Lakeshore player. Ava Mancini will have the throw in for the Bears. It comes to Olivia Burlingame. Burlingame uses her body to post up here. Feeds Steele in the middle of the field. Steele couldn't control it, though, and it's taken away by Elena Bradley. Sophia Pirangeli over on the far side. Pirangeli works with the ball at the 22-yard line. Kicks it back outside to Rommel. Rommel takes it down the far side. Bradley trying to get it for Lakeshore. Taken out of the way by Shelby. And a foul is called on Sally Shelby.
If you're wondering, we mentioned the possibility of a tie. It is a regular season game, so there is no overtime. So if this game ends 1-1 at the end of the second half, it will be a tie.
Which, ironically, was the case the last time we broadcast this game back in 2023.
Celebrate America's 250th birthday at the Red Bud National in Buchanan on the 4th of July. World-class pro motocross action, massive jumps, and non-stop excitement right here in Southwest Michigan. Bring the whole family for the nation's biggest motocross race. Get your tickets at redbudmx.com. Can I get a Red Bud?
Well, I believe you just gave yourself one right there.
Yeah, I did.
Might have given yourself a popped larynx too.
Yeah, I'm at a season of yelling.
Oh, I find that hard to believe. 20:35 to go in this one, and it'll be a corner kick for the Lakeshore Lancers, and they'll set it up for Avery Fichtner, who's had a couple of these tonight and has been able to drive the ball well into the zone. Let's see if she can do it here. Oh, they're going to go with somebody else here now. It's Sindel Osageda, and Osageda's kick is controlled by Roach, the goalie, goalkeeper.
That was a tough situation. There was a lot of Lakeshore bodies in the way, and Roach was able to come up with the save. Good job getting her hands on that ball because any foot could have been a problem there.
Olivia Burlingame with the ball for St. Joseph as the Bears flip the field quickly. Charlotte Steele trying to cut back inside. Back to Burlingame. Burlingame sets it up. Here's Sally Shelby with a shot, and DeLaforet makes the diving save, sponsored by Nature's Way Landscaping.
That was a fabulous ball and setup as we take a look at the replay brought to you by Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan. Good touch. Steele has great moves. Luckily for Lakeshore, they just got a foot on as she was making that move, and then ultimately the shot not able to go in, and DeLaforet with a great save.
Steele's been the woman of the match here in the second half, as she has been able to create a lot of opportunities for the Bears.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much she may have played in that first half, but here in the second half, she's been all over the place.
Here's an interception by St. Joseph. Reeser able to get it back. Opportunities have been few and far between for the Lancers. Let's see if they can create one here as they come up with Molly Foster, and Foster has it taken away and kicked away by St. Joseph. It'll be a throw-in from about the 5-yard line. Morgan Meath, the senior, will toss it in for Lakeshore. She'll attend Belmont University in Tennessee. And they drive her all the way down almost to the goal line here for this throw-in. Meath's toss goes off the back line, and it went off of Osageda for Lakeshore. So St. Joe will have a kick, and massive substitutions here for the Bears.
Lakeland Care Network can help your employees stay healthy. Their employee services program offers on-site services, including screenings, health coaching, and education and care management to improve employee health, morale, and productivity. Learn more at lakelandcare.com.
Lakeshore has its senior night coming up on Friday night when they take on Niles over at Lehman Field, and then the Southwest Michigan Athletic Conference tournament next week. Boy, what a year it's been in the SMAC. You take a look at teams like Gull Lake and Portage Central, who went into the action tonight undefeated, but Portage Central will have its hands full tonight, taking on Battle Creek Lakeview, who's 10-1-3. Gustafson on the outside for Lakeshore. Selena Gustafson tried to turn the corner here. Can't quite do it. Falls to the turf, and it will be a corner kick, it appears, for the Lancers with Osageda.
Our Lakeland Care Network first half was controlled by Lakeshore with their one goal. Our Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance second half has been controlled by St. Joseph, but here an opportunity, one of the few that Lakeshore has had with this chance at the corner kick.
Sindel Osageda had a marvelous boot the last time that Roach was able to handle. And Laney Roach, the keeper for St. Joseph, trying to work through the bodies here as Osageda sends this one into the box, and Roach is right there to control the header from Hannah Reeser. Nice play by the Bears keeper.
The St. Joseph Athletic Department congratulates the girls soccer team on its sportsmanship so far this season and thanks them for competing with integrity, respect, and class. Remember, true victory comes not just from the scoreboard, but from how you play the game. Keep leading with character. Go Bears.
This is what you expect when these two teams get together. Coaches told me this week, both of them, it's almost always a one-goal game. The race for the ball on the far sideline, and the ball goes out of bounds off Lakeshore. Good hustle there by Maisie Gable to force the miscue by the Lancer defense.
Looking to buy or sell a home? McKinnis Realty is where service comes first. Family and veteran owned. They proudly serve our community heroes through the Homes for Heroes program, helping you save when you buy or sell. Learn more at McKinnisRealty.com.
Gable limping a little bit as she came up that time. The ball knocked into the center of the field. Mancini with a boot, but it goes well to the right.
Tire Rack loves tires. Since 1979, they've been helping drivers find the right tires. Tire Rack sells only the best brands, backed by their own test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews. Tires ship fast and free to you or at one of the over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Lakeshore with a throw in here from back near the corner. It'll be Elena Bradley doing it again. Elena, a wonderful artist. Her art was showcased in the town of Stevensville. Tried to throw that one in, and it goes out of bounds off St. Joe. So Lakeshore finding a way to move the ball slowly up the field here.
Our second half brought to you by Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance. When it comes to insurance, of course you want a great price. You also want an agent that cares about your family. And that's Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance. He gets you both. He serves Southwest Michigan and cheers on both teams tonight. But remember, he's always a Bear at heart. Thank you, Chris Blazik with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance.
Here's an interception by St. Joseph. Mancini tried to backheel it to a teammate Freer, but Lakeshore was able to get in the way with it with Molly Foster. Foster sends it down the field. Gustafson just couldn't quite get there, but it comes back to Foster. Foster goes into two defenders. Ball poked away, and finally St. Joseph will knock it to the sidelines, and a throw-in opportunity here for the Lancers. And Brian Samuel, the veteran coach, saying take your time here and make a good play.
I think you could say the last 5-10 minutes, Lakeshore has certainly picked up the tempo on the offensive attack. There, they let one squeak by and aren't able to get anything going, and it'll be a goal kick for St. Joe. But the Lancers are able to apply a little bit more pressure offensively so far over the last 5 to 10 minutes, which is something they need if they want to get the victory here tonight, because they could try to settle for the tie, which would be big for them, no question about it, just to get a tie here tonight and get some momentum in that regard. But the players on the field, they want to win over their arch rivals.
Well, and you have to remember that the district tournament's just a couple weeks away, and as we take a look at this factoid from Papa's Vino, the district dominance of these two teams, Lakeshore and St. Joe have combined to win 12 of the last 13 Division II district titles in this area. And in fact, despite the fact that Lakeshore's record this year is 5-7, they haven't lost to anybody that they would compete against in their district.
Yeah, and that's the key, and those factoids brought to you by Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen in St. Joseph. These two teams have always been top 15 teams, and they're not that this year, but that doesn't mean come tournament time that they can't be dangerous players.
Both of them have expectations going into that district tournament, as the ball easily handled by De La Foret here off the foot of Nadia Freer.
And with that tournament so close and such in the near future, a win tonight, that's a lot of momentum going into the postseason.
Well, because the SMAC tournament next week is not going to be easy for either one of these teams, considering the fields that they'll have to navigate.
No, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, top two teams in the state in the SMAC, so it is as loaded as it's ever been.
Maisie Gable with the shot, but it goes wide of the net. It'll be a goal kick for De La Foret, and we'll have a substitution come in here for Lakeshore as Jada Fulgham re-enters the lineup.
That was not a save. If it was, it would be brought to you by Nature's Way Landscaping, Southwest Michigan's premier landscape company. They are locally owned and operated and specialize in beautiful landscape design and construction. Nature's Way is entering its 50th year in business, and you can contact them at natureswayinc.com for lasting results you love. Go Lancers.
By the way, Jada Fulgham, who just entered the game for Lakeshore, was Miss Baroda this year for the Blossom Time Festival Parade. And earlier this year, to show her talent, she helped choreograph the routine for the Lakeshore Pom Squad.
Great work.
Here's Lakeshore in possession of the ball, knocked away, though, by that pesky defense for the Bears. And Olivia Burlingame feeds it up the field. Here's Maisie Gable coming down the right side. Gable trying to work around Bradley. The pass thwarted by Lakeshore on a nice play by Caroline Nice. And it's Nice working her way down the field. Caroline Nice bringing it back to the middle. Poked away by St. Joseph, but Selena Gustafson recovers it for the Lancers. Now Gustafson has it taken away on a collision with Nadia Freer. No call. Lakeshore retains possession.
That play by Nice is a great example of the conditioning of soccer players. She just sprinted 55 yards down the field, and she's still going on the field right now.
Ava Mancini with the feed up the field. Here's Nadia Freer coming on the left side. Freer stops the ball, trying to get it back to the middle.
I believe it went over the line, and it'll be a goal kick coming up. We saw a little too much white.
That gives both teams an opportunity to make substitutions, and the law firm of Steele and Shelby checking back in here for St. Joe with 10:20 left.
Want to help your team look great? It's Tops can help. They're the official outfitter for a number of local schools and even Sports Michiana. They can do a lot more than just clothes. Learn more at itstops.net.
So let's see how both teams handle the last 10 minutes of this one. The great Southwest Michigan rivalry tied at 1. St. Joseph in possession with Sophia Pirangeli. Pirangeli coming up the middle of the field. She lays the lumber to it and knocks it through the uprights. And it'll be a goal kick for Lakeshore, as you'll get another look at this one on the Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan replay. And watch the collision here with Pirangeli. She just takes down a Lakeshore defender, but Chris Freilich wanted his team to be physical tonight. He felt that was a way that they could help impose their will against the Lancers.
And that physicality has certainly been there, and they're the older of the two teams, so that helps as well. Lakeshore only starts 2 seniors, and one of them is the goalkeeper. So you have an advantage in that regard if you're St. Joseph out on the field.
Great competition in this one tonight. Gwen Rommel with the boot for St. Joseph. It's headed out of bounds by Lakeshore as we go under 9 minutes to go in this one. And the tension begins to build here at Steve Upton Field. Nice move by Shelby. She tries to feed the streaking wing. Here's a crossing pass that's knocked down by Gustafson on a good defensive play. Selena Gustafson has done a wonderful job in the center back position all year long here for this Lakeshore team. Gable with the feed in. That's kicked away. And Lakeshore now with possession. Gwen Rommel feeds it up to Lapicus. Lapicus, nice footwork to get it to Shelby. Shelby with Mancini breaking in front of her. Shelby works it across the middle of the field. Now the shot deflected by defense and goes out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for St. Joseph.
Corewell Health is proud to cheer on the girls' high school soccer teams of St. Joseph and Lakeshore Public Schools. We're your neighbors and your health partners right here in Southwest Michigan. Corewell Health.
Well, I thought it was going to be a corner kick for St. Joseph. I thought I saw it go off a Lakeshore player. The officials see it differently, and so it'll be a goal kick here instead for Lakeshore.
They're a little closer than you are.
Much closer.
Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen on Hilltop Road in St. Joseph is proud to support tonight's broadcast. If you're looking for a spot for your next party, family gathering, or graduation, Papa Vino's has private rooms for every occasion. Papa Vino's Italian Kitchen, unmistakably Italian, unbelievably good.
7.5 minutes to go. Lapicus gets it back outside. Lopez. Isabella Lopez sends it up the field. Here's Charlotte Steele. She's got the lone goal for St. Joseph already. She gets it to the center of the field. She kicks it off the upright of the football goal post, and it'll be a Lakeshore goal kick.
And she has got a beautiful touch, and the way she can pull that ball back and stop and go is very impressive for someone who is splitting her time between soccer and track. A very talented young lady.
By the way, the Lakeshore softball team now with a 10-4 lead as they look for a doubleheader sweep of top-ranked Paw Paw. Meanwhile, here the St. Joe Bears on the attack. Shelby's shot goes off the bottom of the foot of Caroline Nice, and it goes out of bounds on a throw-in for St. Joseph.
That's a great update on the McInnes Realty scoreboard because weren't they were down in this game.
They were down 4-1, and they've rallied to take a 10-4 lead and look for a doubleheader sweep over the number one team in the state. Great job by Denny Dock, who told me yesterday he's got a terrific freshman class. So I said, so you're around for at least 3 more years? He goes, probably.
Good for Denny. Absolute legend up here in Southwest Michigan in both football and softball, but has retired as football coach a second time, but still continuing on.
All popping
softball
around here, and Lakeshore able to clear it with 5:40 to go.
See what kind of finish we get here in this second half, brought to you by Chris Blazek with Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance.
Lakeshore moving the ball up the field with a nice boot here up the left side. Reeser can't chase it down, but it's farther for St. Joe to have to push it.
If you need a plaque, medal, or trophy, you want to call up our friends at Crown Trophy on McKinley in Mishawaka. Nationally known, locally owned. Crown Trophy of Mishawaka do such a fabulous job with our Student Athlete of the Week plaques each and every week.
We might need to award hazard pay to our camera guys tonight who are right underneath the sparrow's nest in the press box. Here's Hannah Reeser going up the left side. Again, she loses it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for St. Joseph now with under 5 minutes to go.
I think the nest is in, like, their huddle camera contraption, which is very interesting.
The throw-in to Lapicus. Beatrice Lapicus back heels it to Sally Shelby. Shelby kept it inbounds on the far side somehow. Has it poked away by Elena Bradley. Lapicus gets it back for St. Joseph, and the Bears trying to move it back into Lakeshore territory, but it's taken away by Molly Foster. Lapicus comes the other way for St. Joseph. They've got a 4-on-4. Lapicus up to Sally Shelby. Shelby trying to get around Caroline Nice, and Nice takes it out of bounds, and it'll be a corner kick for St. Joe.
Nice has had a very good second half. Made the play earlier, and there she got a foot on that one. Yes, it's a corner kick. As you take a look at the replay brought to you by Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan. But watch the play here as St. Joseph was trying to turn the corner to get a cross in and unable to do so, and Nice was able to get it out of the way and prevent that from happening. But now they get a clear opportunity for a cross here on the corner kick.
Good boot by the Bears. Pirangeli's back header goes wide, and it remains 1-1.
Lakeland Care Network offers occupational health and medical compliance services such as autometric testing, fit testing, firefighter physicals, and safety required programs. Learn more at lakelandcare.com. Best of luck to both teams the rest of the way tonight.
Maya Rezagu comes back in for Lakeshore. Mancini couldn't control it, but Rommel able to tip it out to Addie Arnold. And Lakeshore pushes it into the St. Joe end. Good play there by Lopez to keep it out of trouble. But now Lakeshore turns it around. Gustafson has it go off her foot. Lopez gets it right back for St. Joseph. Izzy Lopez pushes it up. Nice play here by Charlotte Steele. Steele with a burst of speed tried to turn it inside. Well defended by Lainey Stempion. Steele now back across the middle of the field. Right foot shot. De La Foret is right there in its path. Another save sponsored by Nature's Way Landscaping as again the Lancer keeper comes up big. 2:30 to go in this one, tied at 1. Addie Arnold turns it back outside to Izzy Lopez. Lopez has her pass knocked away by Molly Foster and out of bounds. A throw in for St. Joseph with 2:15 to go.
As this game is winding down, if neither team scores again, I don't know. I'm thinking Sophie De La Foret as our Reliance player of the game because, I mean, she's been amazing back there. The amount of saves she has had. Yes, she's given up one goal, but there could have been a whole lot more.
And certainly Charlotte Steele's goal right now looks like it would be the Big C Lumber play of the game. But there's still a couple minutes to go in this one. You don't know what's going to happen here because Sally Shelby has it in some open field now for St. Joe. Shelby pushes it up the right side. Here come the Bears. Maisie Gable with a shot. It goes wide. And a whistle. And we'll stop the clock as Gable seems to be a little worse for wear trying to get up here. She was injured earlier, and I don't think that ankle's feeling any better right now.
Well, she's running off saying I'm okay. Let's take a look at the replay. Brought to you by Corwell Health in Southwest Michigan. Take a look at the shot, and it just goes wide. I wasn't sure at first whether or not that one was knocked out of bounds by De La Foret, but instead it actually just goes wide, and it'll be a goal kick here with 1:26 remaining. The clock did stop because of that possible injury. And now the goal kick, not a good one by De La Foret, and an opportunity here for St. Joe on the throw-in with just over a minute to play.
Sophia Pirangeli will throw it in for the Bears. She's got a good arm, sends it in. Steele couldn't quite get a foot on it, and Lakeshore gets possession. Foster sends it up the field. 1 minute remaining in the contest. Lopez for Pirangeli. Pirangeli trying to keep it inbounds on the left side. Foster knocks it out of bounds, but a foul is called on Pirangeli, and it'll be Lakeshore ball with 45 seconds and counting. Let's see if the Lancers take their time here or try to press the issue. Long kick up the left side. Mancini stepped in front of it. Reeser tries to get it back, and a foul is called on Mancini, and I believe Mancini's going to get a warning here from the lead official.
They stopped the clock with 29 seconds left. So Lakeshore will have one more solid opportunity here off the free kick, although they still have to go 70 yards to the goal.
Chris Freilich pushing his defense back. Not expecting to get too many more opportunities. Maybe one if they can step in front of the kick right here.
Lakeshore looking for an explanation on something there.
Brian Samuel has his offense set. There's contact. Morgan Meath tried to get it to the inside, taken away by Sally Shelby. Shelby had Steele streaking up the left side. Instead, she takes it up the middle of the field. Shelby moving along the right side. Shelby with the right foot. Can she get off a kick here? Shelby has it taken away and knocked out of bounds by Lakeshore with 7 seconds left, and the clock continues to tick. And that's going to do it from here at Steve Upton Field on the campus of St. Joseph High School. The Southwest Michigan rivalry lives up to its billing as Lakeshore and St. Joseph play to a 1-1 tie tonight in a tremendous soccer match here between these two longtime rivals. We've got a lot to talk about on the Ferret Custom Roll Forming post-game show. It will feature our Reliance Player of the Game and our Big C Lumber Play of the Game, and it all comes your way next on the Sports Michiana Game of the Week.
Then come back and join us here at Kingston Stadium as we host the SMAC tournament.
Is this local hometown insurance?
Yes, sir. It was local hometown insurance until about 5 minutes ago. We've just been acquired by Big Web Private Equity Insurance.
Wait, what happened to my agent? I've been dealing with him for years.
So it looks like we just got bought again. We're now Big Artificial Intelligence Insurance. And I've just been named the CEO. Long live the algorithm, baby.
What?
Feel like your insurance is getting more robotic by the day? Call Lilliard Insurance. Real people, local office.
You don't always see the backbone of American products. You feel it. Ferret is where smart work meets hard work. We serve the USA by manufacturing purpose-built metal components that solve the problems others walk past. And we put in the work that makes 4th and Long feel like 1st and Goal. Calling all engineers and makers, past, present, and future. Your next career move begins at Ferret.
And this edition of the Sports Michiana Game of the Week being brought to you by Big C Lumber, where the possibilities are endless. Not in a lumber, not good, and not in a soccer match. Exciting to watch. 1-1 the final tonight between St. Joe and Lakeshore.
Yeah, it was a very good game, and Sophie DeLaForest in the back of the net was stupendous for Lakeshore. She is our Reliance Player of the Game, and she is standing by right now with Ryan Fitzpatrick down on the field. Ryan?
Yes. So I know tonight didn't end up how you wanted it to, but how are you feeling right now?
I mean, I feel pretty good. I mean, there was one goal I feel like I maybe could have had, so that's just what's frustrating about it, but that's all about the keeper position. Like, every goal that goes in, you're like, darn it. But, I mean, that's still 1-1, still a tie, so.
Okay, well, how are you going to keep moving forward for the rest of the season? Does this game help you with that?
Yeah, I think we've definitely been on a low in the last couple of games, so I'm hoping that this intensity will bring us forward, especially going into districts, because those are coming up soon. So hopefully we keep the energy up, and it just helps us moving forward.
Great. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Ryan. That is our Reliance Player of the Game, Sophie DeLaForest.
Good job.
She talked about the one goal she wishes she could have back. She'll really wish she could have it back if she watches the Big C Lumber Play of the Game, because that is the goal that was the difference for St. Joe from going from defeat to a tie. And it was Charlotte Steele coming up with this goal here from about the 18-yard line, and we'll cue it up right here.
Yeah, Charlotte Steele, just an outstanding second half. St. Joe did not have many opportunities near the goal. They had been on the outside so much throughout the game. That was the rare opportunity that they had a good look at the top of the 18 box, and she gets the goal to the back of the net. And really, I know Sophie said she wanted to make that save. It was put in a perfect spot. That was going to be an impossible save. So great job there by Steele to get the goal and certainly to get the comeback in this one, because Lakeshore was ahead 1-0 in the first half. St. Joseph comes back, but you know, I think this is a moral victory, to say the least, for Lakeshore because of the struggles they've had, as Sophie mentioned, the last couple weeks, and they get the tie. Now, her as a senior has never lost to St. Joe, and for St. Joe, this is like the kiss of your sister, because the St. Joe seniors have never beaten Lakeshore. They thought it was going to come here tonight, but they have to settle for the tie.
So, especially for Lakeshore, you're looking at Brian Samuel's team right now. They came in with a record of 5-7, but in their last 3 games, They had been outscored by a combined 17-2. He made some adjustments with his defense tonight, and it really seemed to pay off. While there were opportunities in the second half in the middle of the field for St. Joseph, there weren't that many.
No, there weren't. The defense came up big the way they needed them to do that. Obviously, they are relying on their goalkeeping a lot, and that's going to be the case the rest of the year with such a young squad with just one senior outside of their goalie in the starting lineup. But I think this is a momentum builder for them. And it's going to go into next week. The SMAC tournament is coming up, and that's not going to be easy. We've talked about it a few times. Top 2 teams in the state are in the SMAC. So winning the SMAC or contending in the SMAC is a lot harder than even winning your own district. So it will prepare you well for the postseason.
And I think that's the thing that both teams are hanging their hat on right now. Despite neither team having the season that they had hoped for, both of them have fared very well against the other teams in the district. Both are undefeated against the other teams in the district. So that's a good sign for Lakeshore, a good sign for St. Joseph. Wouldn't be surprising if these two met again for a district championship. It's happened a time or two up here. Our thanks to our entire Sports Michiana crew who helped bring you this one tonight, led by the G-Man, Gary Martin. He might be on the injured list, but he plays hurt anyway and gets the job done down there. We had Chris Skibby directing tonight. Matt Florian was working the replays. And terrific camera work, as always, by our crew, Matt Kowalski. We had Michael Weens and Josh Kellogg working on the cameras, and Ryan Fitzpatrick making his maiden voyage along the sidelines tonight. Don't forget, we've got more high school action for you next week. A terrific baseball matchup in Indiana in the Northern Indiana Conference. The 11th-ranked New Prairie Cougars go into Greg Dicus Field to take on Greg Dicus' own team, the 4th-ranked Penn Kingsmen. We'll have it for you next Tuesday evening with a first pitch at 5:30, and we do hope you'll join us then. And speaking of the pitch, our thanks to the hospitality of Kevin Guzzo and the athletic department here at St. Joseph High School. It's always a pleasure to come up to Dickinson Stadium at Upton Field. Now for my broadcast partner, Angelo DiCarlo, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final. Lakeshore won. St. Joseph won. We all won. So long from St. Joe, Michigan. Thank you for watching the Sports Michiana High School Game of the Week. Brought to you by Tony Letcher Health Markets, Tire Rack, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Big C Lumber, Barrett Custom Roll Forming, McInnes Realty, Patrick, Reliance, the Lulliard Insurance Agency, the St. Joseph County Police Department, Babsco, Tom's Car Care Center, and these great sponsors. Support us by supporting them. Thank you for watching those.